What if everything we think we know about Stranger Things is wrong? With Season 5 confirmed as the final chapter, the Duffer Brothers have promised answers, twists, and an ending that recontextualizes the entire series. Today, we're diving deep into 8 major Stranger Things 5 theories, and these aren't surface-level guesses. Each theory pulls from past seasons, hidden dialogue, visual symbolism, and statements from the creators themselves. Some of these theories could completely change how you view 11, Vecna, and even Hawkins itself. And by the end of this video, you might realize that the Upside Down was never the real enemy. Let's begin. Theory 1. The Upside Down is frozen in time for a reason. One of the most unsettling revelations in Season 4 is that the Upside Down is frozen on November 6, 1983. The exact day Will Byers disappeared. Nancy's discovery of her diary is the clearest confirmation, but once you rewatch the series with this in mind, the evidence is everywhere. Cars, posters, houses, nothing ever updates. This detail feels deliberate, symbolic, and deeply tied to the emotional core of the story. This theory argues that the Upside Down is not a naturally occurring parallel dimension. Instead, it is a psychic echo, a snapshot of Hawkins created unintentionally by 11 during her first contact with the Demogorgon. At that moment, 11 was a terrified child under extreme stress, pushing her powers further than ever before. Rather than simply opening a door, she may have copied the world she knew into a hostile, empty void. This explains why the Upside Down feels wrong. Nature exists, but it's decayed. Buildings stand, but no one lives in them. Time itself is broken. It's not a living world, it's a memory. A trauma preserved forever. It also reframes Vecna's motivations. If 11 created the Upside Down, then Vecna is trapped inside something born from her mind. His obsession with her isn't just revenge, it's survival. He needs her to reshape it, to move time forward, or to fully merge it with the real world. Season 5 could reveal that the only way to end the Upside Down is not through force, but through confrontation with the past. 11 may have to mentally return to the moment of its creation, accept her trauma, and let go. Destroying the Upside Down would mean erasing the psychic scar that created it. In that sense, the Upside Down isn't just a place, it's unresolved pain. Theory 2. Vecna is not the final villain. Vecna is terrifying, intelligent, and deeply personal, but what if he isn't the true final threat? This theory suggests that Vecna, despite his power, is only a middle layer in a much older hierarchy. When Henry Creel first enters the Upside Down, we see swirling shadow particles already present. They don't form because of him. They respond to him. This distinction matters. Vecna shapes the Mind Flayer into a spider-like form, but he never claims to have created it from nothing. Instead, he gives it purpose. This opens the possibility that the Mind Flayer is an ancient, sentient entity. Older than Hawkins, older than Vecna, and possibly older than humanity itself. Vecna may believe he is the master, but he could simply be the first human capable of understanding and wielding its power. Season 5 could reveal that Vecna's ideology, his hatred of humanity, his obsession with control was subtly influenced or amplified by the Mind Flayer. In other words, Vecna is not the disease. He's the symptom. This would allow for a shocking narrative twist. Vecna is defeated early, only for the characters to realize they've unleashed something far worse. Something without a face, without emotion, and without any connection to humanity. If that happens, the final battle won't be about revenge, will be about existence itself. Theory 3. Will Byers is still psychically connected. Will Byers has always been at the center of Stranger Things, even when he isn't the focus. His disappearance starts the story, and his connection to the Upside Down never truly ends. This theory suggests that Will didn't just survive the Upside Down, he was changed by it. Unlike others, Will spent days there alone, breathing its air, hearing its sounds, feeling its presence. The Mind Flayer choosing Will in Season 2 may not have been random. Will may have been compatible. His brain, still developing, may have adapted to the Upside Down's frequency. This explains why he can sense Vecna, why his neck tingles, and why his connection never fades. In Season 5, Will may discover that he can do more than sense danger. He may be able to communicate with the Upside Down itself, not control it but understand it. This positions Will as the emotional bridge between worlds. While 11 represents power, Will represents empathy. And empathy may be the only thing the Upside Down has never encountered. Will's arc may end with him choosing to sever the connection, forever knowing it means losing a part of himself. Theory 4. 11 will lose her powers permanently. From the very beginning, 11's powers have been both a gift and a curse. Every victory costs her something. This theory suggests that Season 5 completes that arc. The Upside Down exists because of psychic power. Gates open because of psychic power. Vecna operates through psychic power. And 11 is the strongest psychic of them all. To end the cycle, 11 may have to remove the source. Losing her powers wouldn't be a defeat, it would be liberation. For the first time, 11 could live without being a weapon. This would mirror Hopper's wish for her future and complete 11's journey from experiment to human being. The final image of 11, powerless but safe, would be one of the most emotionally satisfying endings imaginable. This would mean no more 11, only Jane Hopper. Theory 5. Max will wake up, but changed. Max's condition at the end of Season 4 is haunting. Her body lives, but her mind is unreachable. This theory proposes that Vecna does not kill his victims, he stores them. Their consciousness becomes part of him. If that's true, Max is still alive somewhere inside Vecna's mindscape, and she may be fighting back. When Max wakes up, she may carry fragments of Vecna's memories, his childhood, his fears, and his vulnerabilities. However, this knowledge comes at a cost. Max may never fully recover. Her trauma may follow her forever. She becomes a living reminder that survival isn't the same as healing. Theory 6. Hawkins will be evacuated or destroyed. By the end of Season 4, Hawkins is no longer just a small town with strange secret Siths, ground zero for an interdimensional catastrophe. The Earth is literally split open, toxic ash falls from the sky, and the barrier between worlds is visibly collapsing. This theory argues that Hawkins cannot and will not return to normal. Throughout Stranger Things, Hawkins has functioned as more than a setting. It's a pressure point, a weak spot between dimensions. The lab was built there for a reason. The Upside Down mirrors it perfectly. And Vecna chose it as the center of his plan. Hawkins isn't unlucky. It's important. Season 5 may reveal that Hawkins sits on a permanent dimensional fracture. Even if Vecna is defeated, the damage may be irreversible. This would force the US government to step in fully, evacuating the remaining residents under the guise of environmental disaster or chemical contamination. But evacuation may not be enough. The theory suggests the characters themselves may realize that as long as Hawkins exists, the Upside Down has an anchor. Destroying the town, collapsing it into the rift, or sealing it forever could be the only way to prevent the Upside Down from spreading across the world. This creates an emotionally devastating dilemma. Hawkins is where they grew up, where friendships were formed, where loved ones are buried. Saving the world may require erasing their home from existence. If Stranger Things commits to this ending, it reinforces one of its darkest truths. You don't always get to save everything. Sometimes survival demands sacrifice. Theory 7. Time travel will play a role. Time has always been quietly important in Stranger Things, but Season 4 makes it impossible to ignore. Clocks dominate Vecna's imagery. Victims hear ticking before they die. And most importantly, The upside down is frozen on a specific date in the past. This theory does not suggest traditional time travel, no changing the future, no resetting deaths. Instead, it proposes temporal overlap. Moments from the past, present, and upside down may begin bleeding into each other. Season 5 could allow characters to witness key events from a new perspective. Will's disappearance, Eleven's first contact, or Henry Creel's transformation. These moments wouldn't be altered, but finally understood. Vecna's obsession with time may stem from his desire to escape it. He sees time as a prison imposed by humanity. By breaking reality, he hopes to exist outside of it. The heroes, on the other hand, must accept time loss, consequences, and all. The final victory may come not from reversing mistakes, but from letting the past stay where it belongs. In that sense, time isn't a weapon in Season 5. It's a lesson. Theory 8. The ending will be quiet, not explosive. After 4 seasons of escalating chaos, it would be easy to assume Stranger Things ends with its biggest battle yet. But this theory suggests the opposite, that the finale will deliberately avoid spectacle. The Duffer Brothers have repeatedly emphasized that Stranger Things is a character story first. At its core, it's about childhood friendships, growing up too fast, and the pain of letting go. A loud, explosive ending risks overshadowing that heart. Instead, Season 5 may resolve its conflicts early, allowing the final episode to breathe. We may see characters coping with loss, leaving Hawkins behind, or simply sitting together in silence. No triumphant victory, no perfect ending, just acceptance. The upside down may be gone, but the scars remain, and that's realistic. Trauma doesn't disappear, fades. Ending this series quietly would be a bold move, but a powerful one. Because growing up rarely ends with fireworks. It ends with goodbyes. As Stranger Things comes to an end, one thing becomes clear. This story was never really about monsters or alternate dimensions or psychic powers. It was about a group of kids who were forced to grow up too fast, about friendship in the face of fear, and about the cost of surviving something that was never supposed to happen to you. Season 5 won't just close the gates to the upside down. It will close a chapter of childhood for these characters and for us. Some questions will be answered, some mysteries will remain, and some endings will hurt more because they feel real. Now it's your turn. Which theory do you believe is most likely to happen? Do you think Hawkins will survive? And how do you think Stranger Things should end? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more theories content, and turn on notifications. Until then, keep the lights on. The end is coming.